Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli with Little Blue, and and for this review, we're reviewing this, and perfect time because it is celebrating its anniversary, and as we record this, we did watch it tonight, and
Yes, haven't seen it in a few years.
yeah, me neither. So tell us what we're reviewing.
We are reviewing Cowboys and Aliens.
Yes, we think this is good.
I love it.
We love,
Absolutely
we love this movie.
It's directed by Jon Favreau.
In the palm of his own hands, in the
Yes.
palm of Jon Favreau's hands. It's one of his movies,
and it stars.
It's got a great cast, of course.
Daniel James Bond Craig.
Yep.
And Harrison Indiana Jones
Han Solo
Ford.
Yeah, there you go.
How's that for a mouthful?
There you go. There you go.
Great cast all the way around.
You got James Bond and Indiana Jones once again.
Oh, absolutely.
In a movie together. I mean,
Yes.
in Indiana Jones itself, he had James Bond, and he was the father
Right.
of Indiana Jones.
Right. So it is. It's the premise of the movie is Daniel Craig's character. He finds himself waking up in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
He has this mysterious wristband on. Keep in mind, this is the Old West.
Yeah. Iron and such. He's
And
got
so
on.
it's not iron. It's some
it's
kind
not
of. Oh well, no, of course not. It's some kind of. It's some kind of a metal.
Metal,
that's
well-
not made on Earth.
Okay.
And he doesn't know where it came from. So he proceeds to these desert bandits come along and try to rough him up, and they see the armband. They think that he's maybe an escaped prisoner, so they're going to take him to jail. He beats him up.
Yep.
Steals
Just like that.
he steals one of their horses, one of their guns,
Any part of their clothes.
part of their clothing. Yeah, because he's partially, he's missing shoes. He's missing part of his clothes. So he doesn't know what happened to him. Makes it into town. He finds his way into this house that nobody's in. So he thinks. Turns out it's the home of this pastor that's played by David Carradine.
No, it's Clancy Brown, isn't it?
Is it Clancy Brown?
Yeah, it's Clancy Brown.
Sorry, yeah, Clancy Brown.
McCam, I think that's how you say the name.
Clancy Brown. He plays the pastor of this church, but he's got a gun. Holds a gun on Daniel Craig's character. Jake.
Yeah, that's Daniel Craig's character's name.
Yeah. Well, we'll stick with Daniel Craig.
No, we're calling him Jake because that's the character's name.
That's fine, but I'm saying Daniel Craig's character.
Please.
He holds the gun to him, and once he determines he's not a threat, he's got this wound on his side.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's been shot. Jake thinks he's been shot.
Thank you.
The pastor looks at it and says, that's not a gunshot wound. He said it's almost cauterized.
Yeah.
Which it pretty much is. So what he does is he sews it up, dresses it, and then one thing leads to another. We meet
There's
Colonel, the Colonel's son. The Colonel is, of course, Harrison Ford.
Woodrow.
And Woodrow, yeah.
Problem?
And Woodrow, what's up?
I'm just saying.
He's Woodrow's, the Colonel's son is kind of a bully of the town, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
Like bullying Sam Rockwell, Doc, that's his character's name.
he bullies him, and so,
The bartender.
Jake steps in and,
Yes.
knees him between the legs and
Right.
brings him to his knees, literally.
Yeah. Sheriff John, is that the name?
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember who plays him. Keith Carradine.
Yeah, Keith Carradine. That's a David Carradine.
I've
Carradine.
seen him before. He was Penny's father in The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. So, and I've seen him before in a few
anyway,
other things, but he's the sheriff in this film.
One thing leads to another. They discover that Jake is a wanted man.
Yeah.
So they're taking him into custody.
And
meanwhile,
Jake has no memory
right,
of everything that happened.
Meanwhile, where
cut it out.
the Colonel's son has roughed up the town and shot up the town and accidentally shot somebody.
Percy.
Yeah.
And according to Percy, he saw the one he shot, he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so he has to put him in jail. So
and when Woodrow gets the word of this, he's not happy.
No, he's not.
Dad, and of course not happy what his son did.
We'll say his name is Colonel Woodrow Dollarhide. So we'll say Colonel Dollarhide comes back to try to break him out of jail.
I'm saying Woodrow.
Well,
So.
okay, you say what you want.
Yeah. So.
So he comes back. Well, meanwhile, the aliens show up.
Yeah. But
and they take part of the town hostage.
And we forgot to mention Ella, you know?
Yeah, Ella shows up.
She's Olivia Wilde.
She's this mysterious character who shows up.
Yeah.
Has a sidearm, wearing a dress, but has a sidearm and wearing a hat, almost like an Annie Oakley. And so...
but doesn't have her hair like Annie Oakley.
They take Jake into custody. They've got Jake and
Percy.
And they've got Percy and they're...
Woodrow comes in, you know, and right before, like, things are going to happen, the aliens come in and they do bad things.
Right. And without going through the whole movie in great detail... the aliens come in and abduct some of the townspeople.
I just like how when the aliens show up, you see some light, and then it goes silent.
It goes. You don't see the light anymore.
And I just love it because Woodrow's just like, what the hell? And then boom, the aliens show up.
They show up.
That's a perfect way to do that right there.
We get to see the aliens. We get a glimpse of them.
And we see their ships and like the hooks they have. Like then they catch them.
When they abduct, they cables come down, snatch them, and pull them up into the ship and fly off with them.
They got Doc's wife. They got Woodrow's son Percy.
They did,
and the sheriff too. He was a grandfather to the one kid Emmett.
Several of the other
played by Noah Ringo.
Townsfolk are taken hostage. So, in any event, the rest of this movie they are setting out to go after them. Jake is of course freed. Jake is helping Colonel Dollarhide.
The thing he had on it activated.
That's exactly, and he managed to knock down one of the ships. So Colonel Dollarhide sees his value as someone they can use. So he comes along with them. He's trying to put his memories back together because he can't remember exactly what happened to him.
And at times in the movie, he starts having flashbacks.
He has flashbacks,
and
correct.
Visions of a woman he loved, you know?
Exactly.
Alice, played by Abigail Spencer.
Right.
Also, because they also meet up with Jake's men, you know?
Mm-hmm. They meet up with Jake's men.
And one of them named Hunt.
They have
Walton Goggins.
They have a run-in with them, but Jake ends up persuading them to help.
Yeah.
Because once they see
he punches Hunt like, I guess, like, you know, shut up, I'm thinking.
Yeah, and so he persuades them to help. They join forces with
later in the movie
with the Indians.
Later in the movie, they join forces with
Chirwa,
starting with the Indians, and then Jake's men.
Right.
Yeah, and we find out that Ella is an alien too, but not the species of that they're facing off against.
No, her species was attacked by these aliens.
As she says, you know, her people were attacked by those other aliens
and wiped out.
Wiped out, exactly. So she took the form.
She took the form of a human, right?
Exactly.
So
there you go.
So her job is to try to stop them, which she does. But in any event, what I really like about the film. This is one of the things I really like about the film. Right. Besides the fact that you've got aliens and cowboys mixing it up, plus Indians, which is very cool. But you also see
cowboys, aliens, and Indians.
You see townsfolk. You see bandits. You see Indians, and you see this guy who's like he owns all this land and cattle. Colonel Dollarhide. He comes together with this Indian chief. And they become allies to fight this evil force.
Exactly.
You know? They come together as allies. So you have this really just this odd mix of a coalition that goes in against these aliens. And they succeed.
Yes, they do succeed. Other characters we didn't mention, like there's, I guess, one of Woodrow's men, you know, Nat. Nat, and he speaks Indian.
Right.
Adam Beach, and there's of course the chief, Black Knife.
Exactly.
I don't know how to pronounce that name, but you know, it's Indian, so.
Yeah, it's really interesting because they're speaking whatever this language is. I think they said it's Chirwa. But Chirwa. But it was there were some rituals that you got to see, and it was a really interesting movie, to say the least, and love the music.
Yep, and everybody those who were kidnapped by the aliens, they do survive, of course.
Yes, they do.
Yep, and of course Ella sacrifices herself. You know,
Right.
blows up the ship that takes off.
And we have to realize too that it's not that the aliens are not after. They're not abducting the townspeople just to abduct them. They're abducting them to study them.
Exactly.
They want to know our weaknesses because they just basically see us as insects. But the reason the aliens are here is to take the gold. Because
that's another thing too, like gold being brought up in the movie at times.
Gold is a very important element to them. They can use it in for energy.
And in a flashback with Jake and Alice, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So they are literally, they're taking the gold, and the town has already faltered because they had tried to mine for gold and they couldn't find any. Well, the reason they couldn't find any because the aliens was taking it all.
Exactly.
So.
And then there's something else I forgot to mention. Like, oh yeah, Jon Favreau kind of does have a cameo in this.
Yes.
Not on screen, but in a picture,
yes.
In a wanted picture.
Exactly.
That's all we get, you know. It would have been cool if we did see him on screen, and if he was that character that we see in the wanted poster.
Agreed.
But you know, I guess that's how he wanted to do his cameo. So
right.
And fun fact, I read about this that he was told to shoot this in 3D, but he aggressed from doing that because he said that Western films should be shot on film.
Yep.
And yeah, and
I would agree with that.
Yeah, because
wholeheartedly.
I mean, I can understand why he was asked to do in 3D. Well, because this movie, for example,
yeah,
everything, because with the aliens and just
because it's going to sound, the title sounds campy, you know. And when I first found out about it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a real winner. But then when I heard that Jon Favreau was directing,
I was about to ask, you know, because Jon Favreau directing,
and Daniel Craig was in it,
and Harrison Ford.
I thought, okay, this is not a joke.
No, it's not.
This is not something that's going to get, you know.
You got those three guys. That's
odd marks on Rotten Tomatoes, you know.
It's what now?
It's not going to get odd marks on Rotten Tomatoes. It may have.
Have you not checked?
I have not. I don't care about Rotten Tomatoes. I don't care about any of the critics because
I don't care.
Everybody's got their opinion, and
they and we're one of those people that like this. That love this movie.
Exactly. I don't care what the critics say.
Me neither.
They're entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
I respect it. I don't have to agree with it.
Exactly.
And any negative criticism of this movie,
very good point.
Just don't agree with it. I think it's a fun movie. It's great to watch.
Very good point there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not goofy at all. It's a very serious film.
It is. Yeah. I mean, there'd be a few funny moments here and there.
Oh, of course, as is with any movie, but it literally it takes the subject matter very seriously.
Yes,
which is what makes it believable.
Yes, it does. Yeah. The other characters, just a few other characters we got to mention. Buck Taylor, I guess he's the one we see in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
One of those wrestlers, like Rettlers. What was that word you used? Like those guys who were
Rustler,
right? Those one of those rustlers,
or a bandit, yeah.
So I guess he was one of them.
Yes.
All right, and Ana de la Regura, I want to say.
Wait a second.
It's spelled Reguera.
I'm trying to find
Rodriga.
Well, no. I'm trying to find.
Who's the wife? Who plays the wife of Doc? You know, Sam Rockwell. Maria. So.
Reguera.
Ana de la
Reguera. Yeah.
Right. So that. But so there you go. But overall, any last words? Like, what do we have to say about Cowboys and Aliens?
Great movie. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Well, I'm giving this 8 out of 10.
Yep.
Yeah. We love this movie, and I know there's others who do love this movie too.
Yes.
Yep. So, and you guys let us know what you think of Cowboys and Aliens, what you thought of our review. Leave comments as always, and give it a like, of course. Any last words?
Must be off.
He says that for me. We hope you enjoyed our review of Cowboys and Aliens. More reviews on your way. Keep looking forward. They're gonna be awesome, and we'll see you guys in the next video / review video. Take care, and peace out. Cowboys and Aliens.